Hello, everybody. I was muted. So how you're all doing tonight? Today we have the Pyladies Munich Meetup with very interesting things. We're going to talk about Python and the cloud with Alejandra and Heike. We're also going to present our hosts tonight by Ekaterina and Michael. So tonight I will explain to you how it will be, and I'll present our guests very shortly before we started. So I will present the company that is hosting us. Thank you so much. It would not be possible without the help of Arculus. And tonight we will give 3 prizes of a total of 100 euros total. And we're going to align with you what kind of prizes will be. But we have 3 gift cards that we're going to give it away with the Python quiz and also with some random giveaway. So I'll present to you tonight our 2 speakers. I will just put them here. There's Ekaterina and Michael. They are members of the Arculus. Just say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
And also, I will show you another Pyladies Munich organizer, Olga, that I want to also you see and say hi to her.
Hello, everybody.
And our 2 speakers, they're going to talk about the cloud. Heike and Alejandra. Say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I will give you the space for Ekaterina and Michael. And in the meantime, I would like that everybody that did not have the time to start with the form or to fill the form, could you do that so we are able to organize with the prizes for the Python quiz? I will put the link in the YouTube channel and also in our Twitter account. But yeah, see you soon. And yeah, I will give the time for them.
Hi, everyone, once again. And first of all, thanks a lot for this opportunity for being here and hosting this event. And we as well have an opportunity to tell you a little bit about what is Arculus, what kind of company we are, and tell you a little bit about the product and what are the cool things we are doing here. So we have some slides to present. I'm not sure you see them. Yes. Okay, now you definitely see them. So first of all, I have a very nice picture of us two with Michael. So my name is Ekaterina. So yeah, I was just joking before that this is the difference between Michael and myself. It's very much visible on the photo. My name is Ekaterina, and I'm leading talent acquisition at Arculus, and I'm the part of the team since last year. I joined in May, and actually since that time we already grew and basically doubled in size, and it has been and still is a very nice and very interesting journey for me as someone who has been doing recruiting for a long time and is still interested in tech recruiting on the first place. And yeah, so with my team, we are taking care of bringing great tech talent on board, and not only from Munich region, but from all over Germany and as well as from other countries. Michael?
Yep. Hi, I'm Michael, or Michael is fine too. And I'm in the back end. I work on the Fleet Manager and the Zoomer project. And in the more than 2 years now that I'm in the company, our software team did not double, which is one of the big reasons why we're here today. And hopefully we can interest some of you to give us a shot in your career planning going forward.
Okay, then let's move forward to what we generally do. Yes, so here is the overview and a nice picture of our team, which is the team is already bigger. So the picture dates back to a couple of months ago. So what we are doing is basically using the AI-driven software and autonomous mobile robots. So we have two parts of the project. And we're trying to transform the production line into scalable, flexible assembly modules. By that, we are working with top manufacturers to meet every customer requirement with maximum productivity. And you can see already some clients of ours, which are the big names, which all of you definitely know. Now, Michael maybe will tell us a little bit more about what the project is and what is he personally working on.
Right. So as you could see from our customer list, we work very close with German automobile producers. And the way that automobiles are produced didn't really change from the beginning in the early 20th century. Gerald Ford introduced the line production, which is kind of great if you produce exactly one product in exactly one configuration. But as soon as you see in the quote, as there's some configuration possible or needed, then the whole system basically breaks down. And even today, at the modern production, on the next slide, we can see that every production step in an assembly line process is as slow as the slowest step. And as soon as you want customized or complex products like today's cars with their accessories, different colors, it is difficult to fulfill that while still getting the advantages that you get from an assembly line. And you can't really build redundancy in that way because you would have to build the whole assembly line again. So if one step needs like double the space, you have to double the whole factory in essence. And our vision for the future with modular production is that every step is broken out of the line. We can see in the next slide. And if one step takes double the time than all the others, then you can just freely double that assembly station, for example. And if one station breaks down, then not the whole assembly line stays down. You can just reroute the different parts to other assembly stations that you can, where you can continue your work. And this, of course, leads to faster production of the specific products, but also reduces the stress of every worker on the station, because if they take longer than necessary or make a mistake, the whole assembly line doesn't stand still. It's just the car or the product in general that they are working on at the minute. And now for a bit more interesting stuff, how we actually use Python in this endeavor. We have basically two products: the robots themselves, the autonomous mobile robot, and the fleet manager that sits on top of it. This enables us to command the robots, to send them around wherever they are needed, to make intelligent decisions based on the current situation that we face. And we use basically Python for all of that. We use it in the robotics for the data collection. Where is the AMR in that case? We have different names for it. They are also equipped with cameras where we use OpenCV and Python to figure out, are there obstacles in the way? Where are we exactly? And also we have in-house built tools for the robotics to support them in the more firmware-centric development. And on my side of the equation, in the backend, we use Python 3.9, and we always try to use the latest Python features to make our work a bit more easy. We can use basically any external package that we want, as long as it's supported and vetted, of course. Over 50% of our code base is async, which is also interesting. I haven't used async before I started working at Oculus, but our team lead is very enthusiastic about new technologies and encourages us as well to bring in new technologies and new concepts that we are familiar with. We use Black as a code formatter and a host of static analysis to make sure that our code standard isn't just dependent on our individual skills, but is always on a very high level. And that makes from a pure technical perspective, working at Oculus for me very interesting. I can always bring in new stuff that I've learned. I'm encouraged to visit conferences, which didn't really pan out in the last 1.5 years. But I can take time to watch conference talks, to read in depth about new technologies, and then bring them in and have them accepted, which is a very big difference to the company that I worked in before, where we had like strict guidelines, and we're still stuck with 2.7 almost 8 years after it was introduced, or after Python 3 was introduced. So from that perspective, on the technical level, Oculus is a very forward-looking and visionary company, although that sounds very marketing. Yeah, like I'm from the marketing team, but from the technical side, it's very progressive. And since I'm very interested in clean code and always using the newest technologies, I'm very happy here. Yeah. Is that one? Should I still talk about that, Ekaterina?
Happy to take over, and thank you. Yeah, thank you, Michael. And I hope very much that there are already people listening to us and asking the question, okay, where should I send my CV? Because Oculus is a great company doing great things. Yeah, I will talk a little bit. Here exactly. I will talk a little bit about us as a company. So these are our values. I will not stop here because you can see it all in our career page on our website. And the most important things here about the values is that we really try to live them, and they are not like some buzzwords we took from, I don't know, Harvard Business Review articles, but we actually live all these 8 values. How do you feel yourself as an employee? So these are some perks which we have. So we try to keep up with the market, and you get a competitive salary. And as far as we're a startup, you get stock options. Healthy body, healthy mind. So what's not written here in our Munich office, our office manager gives us a smoothie almost every day, homemade. And tech of your choice, this is really a great thing for techies in the first place. So if you just come over and tell us you need something, you get it. And full flexibility at work, what we usually talk about. So you decide on your working hours, and where you want actually to work from. We are not 100% remote company, and for some positions it's unfortunately impossible. So imagine the guys who are assembling robots, because we are still assembling robots ourselves. You cannot do it at home. But I personally, for example, go to office once or twice a week. And we are very flexible for working moms. I have myself 2 kids, and this is absolutely working, let's say. This is the process. So you apply, you talk with me or someone from my team, you talk with hiring manager, you complete the challenge. We don't use, so this is the challenge we invent ourselves. We don't use any software for that. I mean, like Codility or whatever. And then you present it to the team, and then we discuss, and you get your offer right away. Current openings and software, we do have more openings in other teams, and you can see it on the website as well. But these 2 are, so we are looking constantly for backend developers using Python and front-end developers using Angular. And what's important is that if you go to our website and you think that you are super interested and you don't see any opening which matches your experience, we do have the place for unsolicited applications there. Just send us your CV and we will reach out to you and talk. Otherwise, you can just write me a message on my email, which maybe will be shown, exactly here. thanks a lot. I think that was it. And I hope, so I wish good luck to everyone participating in the quiz today. And thank you again for the opportunity.
So I just want to say thank you for hosting us tonight and also for explaining a bit about the company, and anyone who is interested about the company and wants to apply, here's the career page. So you can just go there and the positions will be listed there. But if you want to check maybe open positions or maybe something else, I will also post now the Ekaterina email. So you can also just send your email. Sometimes the positions are not open now, but maybe your profile fits to another position. So it's always good to leave doors open. So just apply even in the other way around. So here's her email account, ekaterina.fedorova@arculus.de. And yeah, I think it's great. Thank you so much, Michelle, and thank you also, Katerina.
Thank you, Liza, for having us today.
Thank you.
And also, just to explain, I will remove them. Bye-bye for now. Just to explain you about the prize tonight. If you have not yet filled the form, please do fill the form. I will post the form here, but it's also in your Meetup page. You have to fill the form to be able to get the prizes. So I will also post this information on YouTube, but please just fill it. And during this time, you will have time to fill it, because now we're going to talk about our next speakers that will be about Python and the cloud. Hello, girls.
Hello again.
So Alejandra and Heike, thank you very much for tonight. Maybe you can explain a little bit how we're going to talk about it. And yeah, let's see how you can use Python for your cloud solutions.
Thank you, Liza. Yes, we are very happy to be here. Today is going to be about basics of the cloud. And if you're already a developer, you already know Python, and you are wondering how you can start using the cloud for this. So welcome. And we are super excited to be part of the Pyladies Meetup. I know it's a lot of organization work, Liza, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
So with that, do we have our presentation already there? Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, amazing, beautiful design. So we can go to the next slide just to start a little bit of our presentation. Heike, would you like to introduce yourself first?
Yes. So my name is Heike Choi. I work as a customer engineer at Google, and I'm a huge fan of Terraform and all new languages. So happy to talk about Python in the cloud.
Thank you. So for me, from my side, I'm a cloud architect specialized in GCP. I work for Nordcloud, and I'm a GCP team lead for the DACH region. And me and Heike, we go a long way already. We have a few years working together on the DevOps side and using the cloud, different kind of clouds. So for today, we picked GCP. But full disclosure, we are here not representing the companies that we work for. We are here to share with you our personal experiences, how we started with the cloud. And well, we have been using Python there for years also. So we are going to give you a little bit of examples of how we did that. So maybe in the next slide, I'll let Heike guide you through what we are going to do for the next minute.
So what we brought to you, or what we are going to talk about today, is actually we have a section where we talk about the cloud fundamentals. So what is cloud, and how to use it, why to use it, and also a variation of it, and we will explain it, is actually serverless. So what is serverless, why it's cool, how we came in contact with that, and our next section will be around really how to use Python, how does it fit there. We have different pillars, so to say, and also services. And at the end, we have a hands-on demo that we are going to show you how Python fits into the cloud, actually. All right, then let's start.
Yeah, so let's jump right in. I think this is a very misleading image, and we put it there on purpose. Why? Because of the concept of cloud computing. And this comes from my personal experience. When I first heard it, I thought this meant that there was something going on in the sky. Maybe signals were shared across the air or something like this. And it was very misleading at the beginning. What's your experience with that, Heike?
It was the same.
What it was.
No, it was exactly the same, especially when you have seen the commercials, at least in Germany, it was always showing the cloud and people were looking at this guy. And I was like, okay, that must be working with, with somehow connections, like wireless and stuff. But it then struck me like lightning when like someone actually simply put, said it's data centers that are connected. But I think there is a more official explanation to that.
Yes. But first, I wanted to share that the first time that I heard it was already decades ago, more than 10 years ago. And the concept that I had from there to now changed so much. But yes, the official way of seeing it, it will be that cloud computing is the delivery of computing services, but over the internet. And the most common one that we heard of it in our daily lives is when you use your phone and then you want to store your things in the cloud. So this is from a user's perspective. But then we also have infrastructure behind, right? And as Heike said, there is a data center somewhere, or a lot of data centers that are connected, and they are giving you these services and providing storage, databases, networking, software, hosting your application. So that's basically what the cloud is. And there are a lot of benefits, of course, on using this. For example, the speed that you can use. And then also you have security on this. And maybe from your experience from GCP, Heike, the security part, it's very well handled by them, right?
Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe also looking from an operations perspective and security, I mean, if you have your own data centers and you host your application there, you also have to take care of other security standards. And it's not only the configuration, it's also like the physical security, right? So you have to have someone that takes care of the facility to encrypt everything and so on and so forth. And yeah, going from that angle, what I think is a beauty also from cloud computing is really it's taking away that operations overhead. I mean, you and me, we're working in platform operations, so we know the struggles, but it really gives you the focus to pretty much implement the business need, the solution that you want to find, and not taking care too much of how it is running and pretty much the overhead things.
Yeah, exactly. And when you want to migrate from one resource to the other, you don't have to buy the full hardware. You're already just changing configuration files and redeploying the solution that you want to the cloud. This might not make a lot of sense right now, but we will see during the demo how this works. And just a quick question, maybe you can write in the chat if you have experience with the cloud, what kind of experience did you have? And if you have already used Python in any of the cloud providers, maybe AWS, maybe Azure, maybe Alibaba, or maybe GCP. But then after this one, we go to the variation, the little variation that we were talking about, and this is serverless. And this term is also a little bit confusing because it makes you think that there are no servers. And this part, I think, is super funny because all the cloud concepts might be confusing, but once you understand them, you understand why they put this name on it, right? But there's still a lot of discussion going on why they were named this way. So what's your concept of serverless, Heike?
So before I go to the concept, actually, I had that, as I had that with cloud computing, then serverless came let's say as it was a buzzword. We knew, okay, there is something new, but what does serverless stand for? And of course I thought, yeah, okay, but how is it running? Why? So are there actually no servers? This doesn't work. So what is this magical thing? But yeah, so once went into this and realizing, okay, there are still servers, and it's just a abstraction layer from the computing that you have. For instance, cloud computing lets you deploy your application, and on serverless, you even have that layer that no access anymore to the servers itself. So it is just going one level up if you want to consider it like that.
Exactly, yes. And the concept of server, it makes you think of computing power, right? And this is what they are giving you as a service. So you don't have to manage the surroundings of the computing power, but you go directly to it. So that's more or less the definition. And there are a lot of other advantages of having serverless technologies. But right now, I think we're not gonna go deep into this, but maybe one good benefit of having serverless, I would say, is lowering your cost. You don't have to pay for what you don't need. So if you want to run something once a month, you don't need to pay for hosting. You don't need to have any virtual machine or a local machine waiting for any call and being executed, but you only pay for the moment of the actual processing and computing power that you need in this moment.
Yeah, that is really the beauty. So you are fast. You can just test, and you can use the language that you like, and everything is like small package, and it's very purposeful, right? So it's really working with with a small thing that you might need that is automating something, and you are right there. You can use serverless. You don't have to build up a lot of things, and yeah, also the cost aspect. So it's great to work with that.
I get a little bit distracted by all of the comments, but they're great. I think there are a lot of AWS experience there. It's super nice. Just wanted to mention. We met me and Heike during our AWS biggest project experience. So that's also something very nice to hear. That
good memories.
All right, so then let's just jump into Python. So we were thinking of how to share here, right? Where do you find Python in the whole GCP environment and scope? And there are so many places where you can find it. So we decided to divide it in 3 main categories. And I first want to start with the application development. And this one is the same normal application development that you have for any product. You can host it, like host your infrastructure in the cloud, and it will be transparent. It will do the exact same things. It might even be faster, and it will be only the infrastructure layer that you're needing for your application. So that's how it looked like. Like, for example, web development, you can still program in any language that you prefer. So it fits perfectly for app development. And then there is a very special one for GCP, at least. I think GCP does a great job in artificial intelligence and data science. There are a lot of services pre-built, and in here you can use Python in a lot of different ways. Heike has way more experience than me in this area, so she can tell you a little bit of what are those services.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super interesting to think that you can, with Python, it is so powerful that it's coming from application development, but also you can do data science. And it's not only, so from data science perspective, not only the data management and data analytics part to see, okay, what does my data do? You go into a Jupyter notebook, for instance, and write your code. You see, okay, that are my insights, but also you can go and be predictive and use it for machine learning and prepare the data accordingly. So I think that is cool. That is very powerful. And especially if you go to GCP, it always gives you services where you can pretty much have your console and right away write your code. with Python then, and I thought that is super cool. And the another pillar that we brought, because this is something we had to do as DevOps engineers, pretty much, is scripting. And although of course Bash is very prominent there, we had our use cases with Python. And I think there's a beauty to it that it is very flexible. Once it gets more complicated, you don't have like all the flexibility maybe with Bash, or it gets very, very large. You can go with Python and have, like the loops and the if statements, and that looks just nicer. So it's maybe just prettier, but it's also very powerful.
Yeah, we also had a lot of scripts in Python when we were deploying to AWS our infrastructure. And so you have infrastructure as code, but this type of description languages are not so flexible. So on top of it, you can have layers that of other languages, for example, Python, for writing it and helping you deploy and manage your whole infrastructure. So that's kind of we were talking about that, how much we really had to use Python scripting for optimizing our DevOps life.
Yeah.
All right, then we can, before we jump into the demo, we wanted to explain a little bit of concepts or resources that we are going to use in the demo, and that are present there mostly in all cloud providers, but we're going to explain it here in GCP scope. So the first concept, it's cloud storage. And storage is anything, we call it buckets. And for this concept, I think it's very interesting, because what can you put in a bucket? Almost anything, any file that you can find, you can just put it there and it will be stored. So that's very, very high level, but that's how we use buckets. Then there are cloud functions, and these ones are serverless. Maybe you have one or two examples in the demo of what are the cloud functions, and here's where Python will fit. So this is this kind of code that you just create and store it there somewhere in the cloud, and then you just call it by some trigger, and it will be executed. And then you only pay for this computing power that you're using, and then you get an answer from it. It could be a REST call, or it could be, well, there are different kinds of triggers, but we will not get deep into that.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Didn't want to interrupt. Just I had an analogy for PubSub. Let's see if that is really a good one. So what it came to my mind today that actually PubSub, so it's a message queue, which pretty much gives you the possibility to have a topic you write your events to, and subscribers that actually can see, okay, there's a new event, something was created, something was deleted, and I can take that out of that subscription, or from that topic, sorry. And it reminded me of a mailbox. So pretty much everything gets in there, even physically, but also your email address, your mailbox, your virtual one. And you get a lot of information there, a lot of new messages, and you pretty much pick out what you need for that time, right? So in best cases, you don't have too much in that inbox, but I mean, so a little bit, maybe that works as an analogy.
But that's a great analogy. Yeah, it's like a mail service, and then you can subscribe. So it means that you will read to it. But if there is nobody reading, then you can receive all the messages and just keep it in the mailbox. Great. So then there is the concept of cloud APIs, and this one is very wide, and there are so many APIs that Google offers as a service. But today we're gonna use which one, Heike?
It's a data loss prevention API. So that is something we will go a little bit into detail that, but so it is, you can imagine as a packaged service sort of. And if you have the use case that you have files that contain sensitive data, and your client or yourself for your project, you don't want that in your application, you can actually run it against that API. You can send it to that API, and that checks it and sees, okay, you have sensitive data in there. Do you want to deduct it, or what do you want to do with that? So that's pretty much the service, and that's pretty cool. There's a lot of, as mentioned, a lot of APIs that Google offers there.
Yes, I think the one that I like the most is there's the language one. So you can even do translation, and you can also do the speech to text. All of these APIs are very fun to play with and very easy.
Yeah, I love that too.
Then there is the Cloud Console and Cloud Shell, and I used to mix them up a lot. Right? So because console, it sounds like, the terminal, and it made me feel like it was a terminal, but it's actually the website. Like,
yes, yeah.
Sorry?
The same for me. Sorry.
No. We're reconnected at the moment. But yeah, so the Cloud Console is just the full console. You will see it in a couple of minutes, how it looks like, all the options that you get there, where you can see all the resources. So that's the Cloud Console. And then there is the Cloud Shell. And the Cloud Shell is the actual terminal where you can write your comments. And in Google, it's very easy because you have it offered as a service and like directly on the website, and you will see it in a few minutes. So those are very just a very small sample of all the services that are there in GCP. But those we are gonna use in the next minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that there was a question, and it was, have you used Pulumi? And yeah, so I wish I wanted to. I was always very curious. So weapon of choice was Terraform. I guess for you it was the same. Did you have the chance to work with Pulumi?
Yeah, lately we have been doing some demos, but there is this person at the company. I will not name him, but he knows who he is. And he loves Pulumi, and we call him the Pulumi ambassador. Every time you complain about Terraform, then he goes like, but Pulumi, you could do this. You can choose Python for development.
I see. Yeah, but was so cool. Yeah, I thought I thought it was so interesting because it actually looks like a programming language, right? So Terraform does more have the own configuration language, and this one integrates very well. So I thought that looks cool, and unfortunately I didn't have the chance to test, but keep me updated how you find it. All right, so going forward, before we go to the demo itself, we just wanted to briefly give you a high-level overview on the architecture, and so just briefly, and then you will see it in the demo, which we also explain. But what we are going to see is a workflow. So imagine you work in a department, you have files, a bunch of very, very much, and they have different data in there. So it could be that there are email addresses in there, there is just numbers and so on. So you upload your files, and what we are going to do today is we are going to check if there is sensitive data in there or not. And that works as follows. So you upload your files to a quarantine bucket, so one of the storages that we have. And once there is a storage, there is a new file, it pretty much triggers a cloud function, and it checks, okay, there has been a new file. I want to see if there is sensitive data in there or not. It processes that, and once this is finished, it will see, okay, what do I have to do with the file from the quarantine bucket? I will move it either to the non-sensitive data bucket or the sensitive data bucket. But that was very theoretical, so let's go into the demo and see actually how that looks like.
Let's see this.
All right, so let me see.
So, but before you run it, Heike.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to just mention that this is the Cloud Console. So this is how GCP Cloud Console looks like. And for the demo, we have a few tabs already open. When you're going to see the buckets that we have, the Cloud Function, the pops up. So all the tabs are already open, but it's from the same console where you can control all of these resources. Now you can hit play.
All right, I hit play now. So it is pre-recorded. So Yeah.
Just one thing, can you make the screen a bit bigger so we can read better the text?
Oh,
I think it would help. I don't know if is it possible.
I think this is a so we can't zoom in here. It's already the embedded video.
Okay, no problem. We'll
Right, but
try
I
to
prefer
see.
to say
Yeah,
it
please
and
use
explain it.
Zoom locally.
Yeah, I think it doesn't work, but right, bear with me. But there's a good thing. This demo can be actually recreated by yourself. It's quite fast, and also we have the links there. So let me explain it, and if you have further questions, please let me know. So let's go. This is pre-recorded as mentioned, but I'll try to explain it at the same speed. So you see we have the 3 buckets. Don't be confused about the other ones. They were for other purposes, but we have the quarantine bucket, the sensitive bucket, and the non-sensitive bucket. And yeah, the quarantine bucket is going to be our entry point. And let's have a look at the functions. So we have 2 functions. And as you can see, we have one that is create DLP job, which has a trigger, and it actually listens to the bucket, the quarantine bucket, and it wants to see, okay, is there a new file created? So that is what it actually listens to. So let's have a look into the source code, which you can actually conveniently see in the console. So there's your main py, the requirements txt, and then you see there is the function that we are going to call. It's called create DLP job. And what it pretty much needs, or what is in there, what you see there, is it says, okay, I want to inspect the job on the common sensitive data points. I will show that later. And it will then say, okay, once I have processed that, I will send it to a message queue. So actually just the event that it has finished the job. So going to actually the topic, so nothing special actually, it's just a topic that was created, it's encrypted, and it has also a subscription. So that is an important part. You have a topic and a subscription, so another function can actually say, okay, I'm listening that something new was put into that message queue. And that is actually the resolve DLPs. You see the trigger that is there is the topic classify topic. So that one that we just checked. And we will go also into that source code. So yeah, we pretty much, oh yeah, good point is why are there 2? We said the functions are very purposeful built. So one is actually really there for creating the job, and the other one is for resolving it. And if we go down to that code part, it pretty much works with that API endpoint and says, okay, I want to have now the information. I know that there is a new job finished. I want to know now, what was the information? Is there sensitive data in there or not? And what is going to happen? If there is sensitive data, push it to the sensitive data bucket, otherwise to the non-sensitive data bucket. And going back there, we also check what does the data look like. So we've been talking about that. So we have sample data, 40 of them, and one is just a simple text file. There's nothing, nothing that could be considered as non-sensitive data. And also we have a CSV file, only numbers, so that is good to go. So then we have one that actually has email in there, and that would be considered sensitive data. So we want that to be pushed to the bucket with the sensitive data. All right, so going back, I'm already in the folder, so I will show you how many. Yeah, so all of them are there, and just with a simple, from the Cloud Shell with a simple command, CLI command, we can just upload all of them into the cloud storage. And that's super fast, so I didn't speed that up actually. So going into the quarantine bucket, we see all our files are in that bucket itself. Yeah, and so now it should trigger the create DLP job in the background. So that works simultaneously. And we will actually just briefly see that the files will be removed very soon. But before we do that, we will have a check into the DLP endpoint. So you might think, oh no, there is no data, but actually it's the inspect jobs. So you can go in the console to see data loss prevention and see the status of the jobs. And you see, okay, most of them are still running, but let's see what one that is actually already finished looks like. So here, as an example, this was apparently a file that had no sensitive data in there. So you see there were no errors, but also no findings. And it was checking email addresses, first name, phone numbers, and US Social Security numbers. So if one of them would have been there, it would have said, I found something. So now we see almost everything is done. So we can actually go back to our quarantine bucket to see if there are still files. That would have only been in an error case, most likely. So let's go to the non-sensitive data bucket and we see, okay, we have files. And I need to admit, all the files had actually an N where there was no sensitive data, so sample N01. So this is why I know they are all the non-sensitive data ones. And in the sensitive data one, we see all the sample _S. So all the sensitive data files were pushed into the bucket as it should have. So yeah, that is actually our demo. And to have some highlights a little bit, what you have seen there is the CLI commands. So actually everything was quite fast in the setup. It was actually just 5 commands, and therefore the CLI that you can use, so the Cloud Shell that you can use right away in the web console, that is super awesome. So let's go through the 5 commands that we have there. So the first one is pretty much just creating the buckets, and you can create several buckets at the same time. The other one, the 2 and the 3 come together. So you have the topic created and then the subscription itself as well. So nothing too fancy. So you see that is very quick and easy. And the one that comes with Python.
Just one detail here. So the gcloud, it's just the first command, and then the command that Heike is talking about, or the second one. Like, so the gsutil, like gcloud, are the ones that you use to execute the instructions.
Yes.
Just wanted to clarify.
For clarification, thank you. Yeah, and for how to deploy actually your Python code that you have locally running or in the shell is that you just say, okay, we have the gcloud, and I want to deploy it to a function that I want to call create DLP job. I define the runtime, and I say the trigger that I want to listen to. And there are 2 things. The actual event is actually that there was an object created, and the other one is where. So the trigger resource is the bucket name that we created in the first command. And for the second function that we have, it's even shorter because we only have that trigger event on the topic. So it's the same one, just with a trigger topic, classify topic. And that was the setup for all the infrastructure components. And for the Python part, we only highlighted the DLP, so the API interaction, and it's just a few sentences actually. So you instantiate your API, so the connection there. You say, okay, I want to create a DLP job. And for resolving the, to resolve that with a resolve DLP job, you actually can say, okay, I have a job object. I want to have the information on that DLP job. So is there sensitive data or not? And that's pretty much that. But have a look at the actual source code so that everything fits together. We just wanted to highlight some part of it.
Yeah, Liza will be sharing the following links in the chat. But I also see that she's there asking for AWS Lovers.
Are there any? No, but we have some questions here Savia say, who knows, but everything except Terraform in the moment you have to deploy software artifacts to the cloud. Do you have any comments about it?
I think this is the answer from the question of Fabi about the one programming language to rule them all. So basically, his answer was yes. What do you think about that, Heike? How do you feel about Terraform? Because lately I've been hearing a lot of mixed opinions about it. At the beginning, I thought this was great. This was amazing. I was also using at some moment Bosch, and for me, it was just like a smooth transition. I didn't have any strong opinion on it, but lately I've been hearing all sorts of things.
All right. I introduced myself as a Terraform fan. I am still a Terraform fan, but of course I know that there are, let's say, it depends on the setup, right? So if you work with a lot of different cloud providers, it might be interesting to have something that works more flexible, because you have to write the configuration exactly for that provider. You can't just say, okay, I switched provider, so you have to have that. It's a language of its own. I heard that also. If I'm not mistaken, if you are in the Kubernetes world, crossplane might be something that is more interesting, because it comes as an operator, right? So it can provision it out of the cluster to, and it's in the same language as you would write the YAML files, the Helm charts, sorry. Is it? Now I get completely confused, but I'm just saying it really depends.
There are some questions popping up here, so I'll just put it here.
Okay, because I don't see them.
What do you think?
Okay,
it's a real question, he say.
Because I would have something.
You can go ahead. I didn't really see it.
All right. It was pretty much if you want to manage your infrastructure with the CLI commands or with Terraform. And there I would definitely recommend Terraform as personally, as out of my experience. So because you can version it properly and you see what was changed on Git. And as mentioned before, it was a good experience, and if there were changes, we could actually pretty much fix it very fast. So that is at least my opinion to that.
Yeah, no, and I don't think you should use it for maintaining your infrastructure, but there are a lot of other functionalities that you can use from the G-Cloud. So in the CLI, you can list your resources, for example, check the health of your environment, and you can use it as a script. So not for maintaining it and updating or deploying your infrastructure, but yes, I will definitely recommend it if you have some other scripts for health check, for example.
Yeah, that would be same opinion that I have. So Terraform for maintaining it, or for, you run it through a pipeline and that regularly rolls it out, also for deploying it to different environments. But the CLI itself would be more, as Alejandra already explained. So getting insights and information.
Also, Pulumi, you could use Alex if you like.
Yeah, so there is also another question here. Do you typically take advantage of new features as soon as they are out? Or how do you I think he wants to understand how you choose a technology that you're going to be using and so on. Thank you, Oibaf, for your question. And maybe Gels, can you give you some insights? Alessandro say thank you.
For using Pulumi. I think we had this experience when we started working together, Heike, that we do not jump right into the latest feature or a beta feature, especially if you're dealing with production or billing, billing. That's a very delicate topic, and you don't want to risk new features breaking what you already have or including security violations. But of course, if it is a fix on a violation, then of course we want to go and jump into the latest one we have. But also for new technologies, it depends of the kind of application that you have and what kind of infrastructure you need to provide for them. So it's very dependent on the case. If you are, of course, using an R&D oriented project, then using the latest technology and the latest advances, that's also very, very good and recommended. But for production, we had that experience that we were blocking this updates. It had consequences.
So no learning by doing.
Well, yeah. So I mean, as said, it's for production environment, we were a little bit hesitant. Not because we don't trust in that, but as said, it comes with changes. It's not just like snipping. You have to understand what it fulfills and what is the purpose of it, and also to see how it does in the market.
We
maybe
do have, we do have a question that I think is interesting for a lot of people who are starting with the cloud. If you have like an advice, what would you say, like good materials, or how can we start? Especially if you don't have, like, if you don't work with it directly and you want to get into the area, what would say that it was helpful for you, that you can guide new people to get in this area? So we have a question here, how to get started with the cloud. And I think something that a lot of people may ask you maybe daily, and so time you can say good things about it, how to get started.
So for me, personally, I think GCP is the easiest cloud to go, so more user-friendly, and you will get a smoother transition from on-prem, for example, to the cloud. I think it's very self-explanatory, and it has a lot of videos, and they really put effort in helping people understand what's going on in the cloud. So this demo that we did, and the link that Liza already shared, it has a lot of other demos, and you can just start by taking a look at the code or how it's formed, right? And just explore it. There are a lot of all the clouds. I think I saw it already on the comments that they give you a trial period and a budget where you can start experimenting and making some mistakes in the cloud, and just start to get familiar to it. I think that would be my first approach. And then there are also a lot of places where you can look at videos and comments and familiarize yourself with the concepts. I come from a very infrastructure background, but I think with having the experience and just hands-on, not only theoretical, it's very important for understanding the concept. And it's so broad that you can specialize in any of the pillars of it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would agree totally. I mean, for me, I am not originally actually coming from a infrastructure background, so I also figured that the best way to go into this is actually getting hands-on experience. So I had the luck, of course, to go to a project, and before that, I did indulge myself with all the tutorials that were out there. So pretty much, Quick Labs, for instance, is a cool platform because you get like a GCP environment, but it's just a temporary account, and there you can just play around, and then you have tutorials there. So that is cool. But yeah, as said, find a cool case, and it doesn't have to be something that is, for a business or production ready or whatever. It's more like, I want to know how a chatbot works, or I want to know how Cloud Function works, or any tutorial that triggers your interest. Just try it.
Yes, just try out. I think it's infrastructure is really an area that you cannot just see it. You actually have to really try it out and see how it works, and don't be scared about the billing. You can always set up a limit before you start doing this, so don't be scared. So we have just a comment here. UI for GCP is pretty nice. I agree compared to AWS. And another question here. This person doesn't know. Michelle doesn't know if it was asked or not. But what do you think about being dependent of one cloud provider? Because I think now we have more like this idea that we can switch from one cloud to another. We want to be independent of one cloud services, and you want to be able to switch, especially for economic reasons and so on. I don't know how you see it.
Totally understandable. I mean, especially if you are in an enterprise environment, right? So, Anna and I have been working at a large company that pretty much worked with large enterprise clients, and there it was also a like hybrid cloud and multi-cloud. We know that the concept's pretty much just saying, okay, you have to have the possibility to connect to your like systems or your existing infrastructure. Or if you say, okay, I want to stay flexible and I want to use Azure, I want to use AWS, and I work with open source software, that is something that in GCP definitely works very well, because a lot of products have that in mind. So having open source standards, working with connectors to summarize data, for instance. So we have this is something to let's say keep always the customer in mind, right? So it is not about showing, oh, only this cloud works best, but it's actually, okay, this one purposely fulfills that need of yours, but with another cloud you might have a different use case, and that should work together. So you don't, you have more like a connectedness. Otherwise you have like a lot of places where you have to look, okay, there's my billing for Azure, there's my billing for this. So I think a good multi-cloud strategy is something that most companies have in mind.
They need to keep in mind, yes. If they don't have it, they have to. They need to take in consideration. And also, he asked, do you couple closely for features, or do you use some kind of middleware?
Well, I think it would be ideal to have a layer that will provide you this flexibility. The thing is that I've seen it in a few projects, and I'm pretty sure Heike as well. For example, you use Kubernetes, and you create your application in a way that you could put it in any Kubernetes cluster, and for you it will decouple the relation directly with the cloud. And but then when you go from, and I've seen it on migration from GCP to Azure, for example, then the networking works differently. The way you are providing the pods, and I'm not sure if I'm going too specific into this, but so the policies work differently, and there's always this investment in time and planning when you move from one provider to the other. So I would say it's in an ideal situation, you will decouple this, but most cases you don't actually manage to have it. It will be time, yeah.
Yeah, I think our time for question is over now, and I just want to say thank you for you two for presenting such a great starter for anyone who is starting with the cloud and who wants to use Python with it. It was really nice. And we'll have a break of 5 minutes, and we'll come back for the quiz. So please stay up. Right now is 8:05 in Munich time, but we're gonna be back in 8:10. So 5 minutes, people, just for you to take some water and come back. We will wait for you, but please come back and we will start the quiz. I think everybody is waiting, and we also start to provide the pin for the quiz, so you can be just set up, and also the form. So see you soon, and we're gonna leave it now. we can talk. Hello, everyone. So we are back, and Olga, she will first present. So she will go first, and she will present you the form and everything that you needed to do this. So I hope people come back and we can start the quiz. In order to participate in the quiz, you need to fill a form so we can actually identify you by your nickname that is going to be used in the Kahoot. So I will just paste the link now for you so you can all find it. And we're going to be using Kahoot. So Olga will provide a PIN that you can use it to log in the game. What you will need to keep in mind is that we have 3 prizes total. And the first prize, it's an Amazon gift card of 50 euros. And the other prizes are also gift cards. We will check with you after the event whether you will take a Udemy gift card or it will be Amazon. It's really up to you. And if it has it in your city or not. So I will pass now to Olga and she will continue. We'll give some short amount of time for you to fill up the form and get started.
Okay, thank you very much, Liza. I just posted in our YouTube channel the quiz ID. It's can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
So we had a small technical problem, but I think now everyone can hear Olga. You turn off your video.
Can you hear me now or not? Okay.
So she will come back.
Okay, I hope everyone can hear me now. I just post in our YouTube channel the pin ID and we will play with you now a test quiz. But I just want to remember you, if you fill out our Google form, you need to use the same nickname that we can recognize the winners afterwards. So please use as well this nickname for the test quiz as well. And let's start. You can go to the Kahoot page or use Kahoot app on the mobile phone. And I will just share my screen. I'm already doing it. Can you see my screen? Okay. Now we're just waiting for you to participate the game. You can enter by the Kahoot web page this pin ID or by your mobile app. Okay, Lozin is already here. Welcome. Jean is here. Olga, Petra, Ava. Very nice. Let's wait a little bit more. Okay. Okay. Barbariska is already here. Gina.
Okay.
Ava is here. Petra. So I think we have to wait a little bit more because we have more people who.
Okay, let's start the quiz. I already started it. Okay, how many people are in Pyladies Munich group? And now you will have 4 options to answer. 602, 781, 543, or 1003. Okay.
So this first one is actually only for you to practice and you see how you use Kahoot. So we're not going to count this one, but let's keep it in mind.
Okay, and now we can see the statistics. So can you put the code again? There are some people come out. You mean to test code?
Some people are having some small problems with internet, and I just want to make sure everyone can get the chance to enter before we started. Is it possible to share the code again, Olga?
For the test quiz.
For the normal quiz, let's just share a little bit.
Okay.
So other people can enter.
Okay. Before I share the code for the test quiz.
You are muted.
Just a moment, Liza. Okay, before I was sharing the code for the test quiz, and now I will share the code for the normal one. But now you could see how it works. Like basically, you need to give the right answer and be faster. Then you will be the winner of the round for one question. Okay, I need to start the quiz, the normal one. Yes. And then I will post the ID.
So Olga, what is the ID? How people can get started?
I need to start the quiz,
and then I will get the ID, and then I will post it on YouTube channel.
So I was okay. So she's preparing, but we will start it again. Yeah, sorry, Shalom. Shalom could not enter in the game. So let's. She will share her screen, and we will see the pin again. And we will enter.
Okay. I will post it first. Okay, our quiz pin is 3573338. Now it will be the real one quiz, and we're not doing any test quiz anymore. And I will share my screen and start the quiz with you. but we are waiting for you guys to join us. Just a moment, because I need to switch.
Olga, people say they cannot hear you. Maybe you can put a bit louder your audio or talk louder.
Okay, just a moment.
It's a hard time for audio here.
Okay.
No, I cannot hear you. And because she's here, so I cannot hear her. So just the correct P is this last one, right? 357338. 357338. So I would suggest, Olga, just share your screen. We're gonna see who is gonna join now, and I'll be explaining to you the questions. We can try one more time if Olga can talk. Otherwise, we just wait and we move forward.
Okay, I see now here Petra, Olga, Ava, Chima, Beko Bako, Barbariska, Emlozin, Michael, and Mario. 9 people. Let's see how many people will join us more. We will give some minutes more, maybe 2 minutes more, till 25, and then we will start the quiz. Join us by game pin 3573338.
Yes, just enter here. We're gonna start soon. So I think there are a lot of people here who actually have a lot of chance because there are not so many. So I think one of you will be the winner. So we have 3 winners tonight, and definitely have a lot of chances. So we're gonna just go over the questions and go a little bit of the explanation behind it, and you will see how it goes. But it's actually not. We try to keep in mind that we will have easy questions and hard questions, and we will have enough time for everyone to answer. It will be enough to read the question and also to answer correctly. So don't worry, it's not gonna be like super fast. And yes, I think we can start, Olga. What do you think?
Okay, maybe let's wait till 25. Oh, Amal joined us, so it's good that we did not start. What's happening, Liza? Okay, Liza, let's start.
Okay, I think we have everybody here.
Okay.
We have 11 people. I think we're gonna start now, so everybody is ready to play it. So let's start it.
Okay,
now it's really real, not practice.
Okay, people, we have 11 people. Then 3, 2, 1. I will click on the start.
Olga, don't use phone.
1, 2, 3, or 4?
So yeah, you can see here. Is it clear to see everything? So how many lines actually that's called output? So you can just click it here, how many you think is correct. We already have 10 answers, so you can already see who is the winner.
Okay. 5 people answered correctly, and with backslash and n, you always can start with a new line. Okay, the fastest one was Beko Bako.
Congratulations, you were the first one to answer this question. So just for you to understand, this doesn't matter if you are just fast. You need to be fast and correct in order to win this. So the first people who click it, and if they are right, they will win. So let's go to the next one, right, Olga?
Which of the following options results in exactly 2 lines? Print hello world, print 1, 2, 3, print hello backslash n world, print some backslash n text backslash n goes here. What do you think? Like, you remember the last question, you already know what backslash and n does. So let's figure it out. What will be the right answer?
So yeah, I'm curious. It's okay if you didn't get this right. You still have chance to win the prize. So just keep it in the game. Just keep it there.
Okay, we can see that everyone answers correctly. And it was the right question. Hello and world was producing exactly 2 lines of code. Okay, now the fastest one is Michael. Congratulations. And second one is Barbariska, and third one is Emlosion. Also congratulations. Put up this code.
So what is the output of this code? We mean the string itself that you can find it. Also, just keep it in mind, everybody's answering. I have 8 answers, not 11 yet. We'll wait a little bit. Just keep it in mind that if you win this prize, if you are a man, we would ask if the prize can give you for a woman. So just to keep it in mind.
Okay, very good. 8 people answers correctly. And yes, you can use negative indices to access the characters of the string from the end. Like, we will start with the last character in the string by index -1. The second from the end will be index -2, etc. Very good. Okay, the first place took Michael, the second place took Emlosion, and we have some new name here, Gina. Congratulations, people. What is the output of this code?
Yes, what's that? But just Michael is actually winning right now. But in case Michael wins, he will not be eligible. So he's the second person who will win the prize. Just to keep in mind. But thanks for participating, Michael. He's from the Arculus company. Mario Viviano say, I'm loving this game, even if I'm last. No, way to go. I think here's an opportunity also to understand how Python works. So Olga will explain to us why is this the right answer and who is winning right now.
Okay, we can see that Michael was the fastest one. The second place took Emlosion, and the third place took Barbariska. Congratulations. We can multiply strings by using function, and if it will be integer, for sure we will get the result 21, but in our case we used the strings, so it was multiplied 3 times. Can I reverse a list like this?
So yes, we have already 10 answers. Let's see. Okay, now it's moment of truth. So actually, yes, you can reverse a list like that, because you can use this to reverse the list. You don't need, another way you could do it, it's just to go over the list, and from the reverse function, there is a reverse function in Python that you can use to reverse lists, but you can also use slice, right?
Yes, is it true? Maybe I can give you some small example. Just a moment.
Just for people who does not know, you can use the Python itself, but you can also use IPython to just type commands there, and then you will see directly the answer. So I think you can just also type it. If you have this kind of list, 0, 10, 20, 40, can you please reverse the list? How can you do that? So one way that you can reverse the list is just use the reverse function with the slicing. I'm not sure if if everybody knows that, but you can use just reverse with slicing, which I think is pretty cool, and it's pretty simple to do it like this. So yeah, the answer is true.
Mm-hmm. And for example, we could also use for this purpose reverse function. It's the same.
But the one thing that is different is that if you use reverse function, you will do the reverse thing in place. So actually your list itself will change it in place and will be reversed. But if you just reverse with slicing, you'll have a new string there that you have to save it somewhere in order to use it.
What is the output of this code?
So this is easy. What's the output of this code? Actually, I started this as mine quiz. What do you think is the output of this code? It's actually not that simple as it may look like. It may confuse some people. Is it an error? Is it 15? Is it 20? Is it 25? What would that be? Are we gonna like sum up here? Let's see who's gonna win that one. Yes, so let's check, right, Olga?
Okay. The first place took Michael, the second place took Emlojin, and the third place took Mekobako. Very good people.
Yeah, so maybe we can show in the terminal now. How does it really works? So if you have, I think, yeah, Olga is looking for the answer, but yeah, if you have this slice, it's a bitwise operation that you will do it in Python. So you can use the command like bin to check which symbol will be. Maybe we can just type it, bin. Yes, so for example, this one. Actually, 5 and 5 are the same. So in this case, we don't have differences in the output. So if you look for you can give enter. And if you look for the answers of this one, it will be 5 itself. But what is interesting in the other question is if you have 10 and 5 with this operator, the OR operator, it will actually be, maybe you can just type it. I think it's faster. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just explain.
Yeah, so yes, here, 10 and /5, you can just print PB. So actually, what the answer will be here is B is going to be 15, and for A is going to be 5. So if you sum both, the answer is actually 20. Maybe some people thought it would be 5 and 10, for example, but it's not, because you have to do the bitwise operation here. So yeah, this is nice to know. Let's go to the next one.
What is the output of this code?
So what's the output of this code? This one is also very interesting, because what kind of operations that we do with strings is a bit different that we do with numbers. But this one, you can maybe get a bit confused. And we will see why this is. We have 4 people who said correct, and 7 who thought it would be. 4 people thought it would be an arrow, and 7 thought it would be AB. It's actually an arrow. You cannot do that with a string. Why? Because you may be confused. If you can type, you do it, because you may be confused because you can actually concatenate 2 strings with plus. But for example, if you have a string ABC, and if you want to add a D, for example, you can just do a string plus D has a character. So you can concatenate it with the plus, but you cannot remove it from a string with the minus. It's just not possible. But you see Olga is typing here how it would be. So she's just added one string to another. If she prints the string itself, it will be ABCB. So you can actually do the plus. But if she tries now to remove the string, it's not possible. This operation is not supported, because this is not this magical operator is not possible for strings. If you want to do that, there are different ways that you can do that. You can do that with .replace, which you can replace a variable there for an empty string, for example. Or you can also go over the string, because every string is a list itself. So you can also go over the string and make a new string out of this, for example. So here, if you want to remove C, you can use .replace an empty string. So it's actually quite interesting that we do have the plus for concatenation, but we don't have the minus for subtraction when you are dealing with strings. So I found this really cool. Maybe someone got this right. So it was a bit tricky. Not so easy. So let's go to the next question. So see, things are moving here. Some people are going up with this question. Nice. Congrats. Yes, you can also delete a string. Thank you. So let's go to the next one. What's the output of this code? So let's check which code there is. So you have here a set in the A, and you have then in B a list. So if you want to see the size of a set, what would it be? And in which place of the list you would have this answer? And what will be there when you look up? It's interesting because sets are different from lists. Maybe you are thinking that right now, maybe with lists and sets, but let's see who we're gonna get this one right. So yes, this was a harder one. But yeah, we have 2 people who say it's 5, and 2 people who say it's an arrow. And yeah, this one is actually not there, right? So which one is correct here?
Somehow I see now, okay, people. Actually, the right answer is 5.
The right answer is 5. It's not an arrow. But no one said an arrow, so we're going to keep it this way because it was 2 questions. So the answer is 5. You can see in the set, maybe we can just put a random set in the thing. Because if you have a set with a repeated number, this will not be considered. So you can just create the set, maybe.
Just a moment.
You can also use Control-R. So just for you to know, you can also use Control-R when you are doing this kind of terminal thing to look, if you know what's the beginning. But yeah, so in the set, if you have like copied or something like is repeated will not be counted. That's why you don't see. But if you look now, the length of this A, for example, you will see that's going to be 3. Can you check, although if I'm correct? Maybe my Python knowledges are out. It's too late already. But you see that the length is 3, not 4. So maybe for people who got it correct or incorrect, yes. It is good to understand that the length of a set is the unique numbers that are there. 2 more questions. Who's gonna win? So let's go. Wow, see, things are moving. Things are moving. I like it. Let's go to the next one. What is the output of this code? Let's check which code there is. This is maybe a trick one. Let's see, a lot of uncertainty right now. So if it's A, we have 2 variables here, the A and B. And if B is false, A is going to be printed. And if B is correct, B is going to be printed. But how you do the and or operations here with the code? 7 answers. This was too fast. So, wow. Congrats, people. Congrats. True. A lot of people, like 4 people got it correct. Really. Congrats. So this is actually quite simple. You can just go and do the and or operation. So when you have true and then true, it's going to be true. So in the and operation, you have to have this both statements has true to be true, otherwise it will be false. And for or operation, it's quite the opposite. You just need one to be true. So that's what was the answer of that question. I don't think we need actually to go over, but yeah. So we found that here yes, okay. Yeah, I guess it's quite simple. In any case, I will post every answer of that in our Instagram page and our Twitter page, so you can actually know what was the answer and so on. So I will stay in the first place, but with negative sign. So Mari said that he will stay in the first place, but with negative sign. So let's see how it's. Yes, you win knowledge. Yeah, maybe the prize. We're gonna raffle some of the prize. Keep it in mind. So the last question. Wow, double points. Now is the time. What's the output of this code? So we have here an empty list, and we're gonna go over this empty list, and we're gonna append 0. What is then that's gonna happen? Actually, here I have a comment to say. The print statement is actually outside because you cannot print it like this here. So just consider that these first 3 lines are putted, and then you printed this length of S. So the question is, yeah, try out. Maybe you have enough time, you open the terminal. But yeah, printed the length of S. It's gonna be S1. It's gonna be as a type error. Can you print it? So what would it be? Interesting. We give a bit more time for this question because it's a bit harder. So let's see. Let's see, 7 answers already. 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow, syntax error. Can we try out this one to see if it's a syntax error? Because it's actually not a syntax error.
I need to text maybe just a moment.
Yes, but this one is we have an empty string S equals an empty string, and then we go over it. Olga is checking, but if you want, I can also just tell you.
Okay.
S equals to an empty string, empty list, sorry, and for E iterated in S, then you're gonna append 4 spaces is what we use in Python. So you cannot do it like this. You have to do 4 space, and you append 0. So in the beginning, see, some people keep it in mind. After you do S in empty list, you have to also give 4 spaces in Python. It's an indentation. You can try it out again, but just the s.append in Python, it's with 1, 2, 3, 4. That's weird. Yeah, I think we have to eliminate this question because I don't think it's correct. And is the integer you cannot go over. Anyway, I think let's just eliminate this question because I don't think it was a fair question. I think it was a bit not.
And what was the print?
Print of S. So actually the answer is 0 because it's not a syntax error. It's it is inconsistent. It does not matter how many. Yeah, true. But yeah, it's print of S. Here's a bit of syntax of error. So that's, I will eliminate this question because it is not correct there. So let's go to the last one. This was the last one. Let's see who win. Olga.
It was not me.
You wasn't third. And Michael. And the first one is Elonzin. Wow, congrats. So we will give the prize. Michelle, you could not win anyway. Yes, correct. So he just said that there would be no output because the for loop would not be executed because the list is empty. Correct. No, actually not correct. If you iterate a list, even if it's empty, you cannot append anything because there is no iteration there. So it will continue, which was the same, which is an empty list. Cool. Yeah, Emilia, did you win something? But now we're gonna, the 8 people, the people who are here in the quiz, we're gonna do the raffle. So let's check out how to do the raffle, right?
Yes. Okay.
So now we're gonna check the people's name, and we're gonna use a function from Python called random that you can random all the participants, and we're gonna give 2 prizes. So the first person, Elonzi, is it you, Emilia, that won? You can just say yes, and it will be, we're gonna contact you soon. But we're gonna check the rest of the people that we can do the raffle. So we're just gonna go over the participants now and see who will win. So you can still win. Emilia, of course, the first person, you will get the highest prize, and the other 2 people will also have a value of 30 and 20 euros gift card. So one price is going to be 50 euros and 30 and 20 euros.
Okay, you can see here.
Wow,
the list
nice,
of
Emilia.
the
Nice, Emilia. So yes.
Okay, you can see here on my screen the list of the players which participated in our quiz, and now we will use some random generator to choose 2 winners of this quiz. And here's the number. It will be your rank, and yes, just.
So actually, yeah. So you have here, every person has a number. Keep my fingers crossed for Mario. Mario, maybe you're gonna win. And we have, how many participants do we have?
We have 10 participants, and the index starts from 1.
Yeah, so perfect. We have 10 participants. The index will start from 1. Let's see who is going to be the win, who is going to get this money. And we're going to send this money to anywhere around the world. So fingers crossed for who wins. Woo! Number 2. Who is number 2?
Michael again.
Michael. So Michael cannot win, so you still have a chance. Let's do it again. Number 1.
2.
What? Can you check it twice? Going again? Maybe you have to.
Now it's 3.
Now it's 3, okay. Let's check who is the number 3. Is Olga. So, Olga, you won. Olga, are you still here with us? Say hi and just for us to know that you are here. And now we're gonna, maybe you have to leave Python and come back again. I'm not so sure. It's fate, yeah. Let's see, we have one more to go. I hope it's not repeated, but there, let's see. Import random, very easy in Python. Import random.randint, first number, second number, number of the participants, and let's see how it goes. Olga, oh, nice. I love giving money if it's not mine.
It's again number 3.
Yeah, it's not correct.
I already exit with Python.
Let's do it again.
8.
Number 8, finally. Who is number 8? Barbariska. And last winner. Oh, Mario, you almost got it. You are number 7, almost. But Barbariska, are you here? Can you say hi? I'm very happy. Other woman got this game. Very good. So, I don't know if Barbariska is here or not. Anyone who got the game, please contact us in our Twitter account, or just we also will contact you with the email account that you leave there. But yeah, just say hi if you are here and you win the game. And yes, this was cool. So it's the end of our meetup today. I'm so happy that, yes, I'm very happy that all those people won the game. Say, Lester, bye-bye, hi. Was it you, Barbara, that won the game? Congrats, Barbariska, congrats. Mario is crying, but he's saying congrats to you. So yeah, almost. Yeah, congrats for the winners. But I hope everybody learned something. And we're going to be sharing all these questions in our Twitter account, Pyladies Munich. Just follow us for any updates about the next meetup. Hope the next meetup will have even more money to give to you guys. And also you can use this money as we want, like just to learn Python and use. We're going to send you like some options. But yes, I'm very happy. Ooh. Last thing, Michelle say, we get the next time, Mario. Yeah, let's see. The women are on fire today. All the prize went to the women. So I'm really happy about it. Woohoo! So thank you everybody tonight for the end of the presentation. Alejandra, are you still there? For the end of the presentation. I will put Alejandra also here. Let's say final goodbyes, right?
Yeah, thank you. And Liza, I just wanted to say this was super fun. And me and Heike were talking about this. This was great. And we really appreciate all your effort and how you organized this. So
thank you. It was my pleasure. I really like to work with DevOps people. Yay! Cloud, go cloud. Cloud is the future.
Go cloud, yeah.
Start running cloud.
Not AWS. Don't listen to Liza.
But funny, Olga is sending virtual hug. Olga, you win the prize. Please contact us after. Just to keep it in mind, Emilia, you win the highest prize. And then was Olga. Emilia, you win 50 euros of gifted cards. So please contact us to get this prize. We will get to you as soon as possible. So it's me, Emilia. Yay! All the winners. Woohoo! So yes, virtual hugs to everyone and goodbye. You want to say something, Olga?
Thank you for participating. It was fun and have a nice summer. See you soon, hopefully.
Bye-bye, everyone. Now, when the broadcast now. Woohoo!